Hello everyone, this is Jed Schlackman. In this video I'll be giving a little bit of a book review, and this is for the book Wisdom of Souls. Wisdom of Souls is a book from practitioners who studied at the Michael Newton Institute. So the full title of this book is Wisdom of Souls: Case Studies of Life Between Lives from the Michael Newton Institute. Michael Newton was a psychologist who specialized in hypnotherapy and regression therapy, and he expanded the field of past life regression therapy through his efforts to focus on the between lives realm, the spiritual realm, where spirits have further experiences beyond the physical incarnations, where there's planning and reviewing that in a sense guides the path or course of the physical incarnations. Michael Newton passed on a few years ago, and he had trained many other practitioners to practice his approach to regression therapy. So a few of those practitioners got together to assemble kind of an anthology of case studies to illustrate this approach and the wisdom that people receive when they go through these regression sessions, the insight that it can provide us into our lives and into our soul's path or journey of exploration. So the authors of this book are Anne J. Clark, Karen Joy, Joanne Zielinski, and Marilyn Hargreaves. Now they actually assembled the collection of case studies by soliciting these cases from other therapists. So there's a couple dozen different therapists who are involved in helping put together this book. So it's truly a team effort. Now, for those that are not familiar with life between lives regression therapy, this is a very rigorous approach that Michael Newton developed, where he progressively guides clients into a very deep hypnotic state so that they can access things on the soul level more readily. He begins guiding them back through the current life, back to the time of the child being in the womb during the pregnancy, and then all the way back into perhaps other lifetimes. And then after going through a past life, Newton would guide the person to the death scene, to the time of transition, where their spirit will rise and they'll be guided up into the spiritual realm and meet with wise beings of light, their spiritual guides. So that's kind of an overview of the process that Newton developed. Other people who practice regression therapy will often have clients go through that same type of progression, but they don't necessarily do it as rigorously or as deliberately. So often it's just what the client is ready to experience in a session. So in a way, Newton kind of screened things to ensure that his clients would be more likely to go into the deeper states, to go up into the spiritual realm for that part of the life planning process and life reviewing process. With that said, now I'd like to share a little bit more about the contents of this book and how I believe it can be helpful or useful to read about these case studies. when people are in that deep state of consciousness and they're communicating with these entities in the spiritual realm, they're being given more insight into their life path, into perhaps the challenges that they've chosen and how they've responded to or navigated the situations that have arisen in their lives. This is kind of a complex process where to some extent we've chosen or planned out things before we're incarnated, yet our path can follow different routes or different forks in the road, so to speak, depending on the way we react to things in our life, choices we make, and so on. So we can, in a sense, revise these plans we've made as we're going along, at least to some extent. And there's also intervention from what you could call the soul or higher self to kind of nudge us along, to push us in a desired direction during our life. So sometimes things happen in our life to help, in a way, be catalysts for us to get on track, so to speak, to perhaps more fully fulfill what our original intentions for the life were. In this book, the case studies include different topics or themes, pretty much a full range of the types of issues people often come to therapy to explore. So some of them are relationship issues, unresolved family issues or traumas, health issues, habits or addictions, job or career concerns, romantic concerns, concerns about death or dying, or a greater life purpose. So each of the different case studies will tend to focus on one or more of those particular life concerns. And the way the book is written, there are summaries or narratives that cover the particular case, the person involved, and there are excerpts given of the information a person may receive during their session, what they describe or what they are told by their guides as they are led through the spiritual realm. So these are very vivid descriptions, and from my experience, they're very realistic in terms of what actual clients will share, since I've done perhaps thousands of sessions of regression therapy myself with clients. So there are common themes that appear. There are certain types of lessons that people learn, challenges that people have chosen to go through in order to expand their experience and their perspective, to get more of a balanced view of life and creation. So this book, Wisdom of Souls, is one that can give you some insight into your life. If you're a therapist or practitioner in the healing arts, you may find it gives you a new way of looking at the challenges that your clients may bring into therapy. And of course, it helps us understand our souls and their purpose or their agenda as they come into the human life experience, as they project their consciousness into this planet we call Earth and these human life forms that are having experiences on the Earth. What the book doesn't cover is non-human types of life experiences. So you won't find the type of content you might see in a book by Dolores Cannon, where people are having extraterrestrial experiences and experiencing other non-human life forms. I hope that this review has given you some insight into what this book can provide. And I would welcome each of you to watch some more of my YouTube videos. You can also visit my website, which is phinsights.com. That's spelled phinsights.com. There you'll find a lot more resources for holistic health and spirituality, as well as information about the healing services that I provide and facilitate. For now, I would like to wish each of you a wonderful day. Namaste.